Sorry, coach, I think you were muted. Sorry.
Nice. Okay. So start again.
Yeah. Colleagues, apologies. I see the coach was muted. Coach, we just needed a summary of the 120 minutes. Apologies.
Keep it brief.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously a hard-fought match between two teams wanting to go into the next round. We were determined to, have a good cup run this year. We obviously drew Sundowns away, which is probably the most difficult fixture that we could have got. But I really thought that, we were in the game for long periods, and I was obviously we were on the back foot in extra time and holding on for things, and hopefully we're going to take it to penalties. Unfortunately, we didn't. So credit must go to Sundowns for just persevering and continuing with their way they play, and obviously they got the goal. But I thought we were well organized. We set our stall out well. We didn't allow them space between the pockets. We allow that we forced the ball a lot into wide areas, and then we sort of defended that well. So yeah, I also thought, especially in the first half, there were times when we had the ball, we moved it well, created opportunities. We created some one-on-one situations with Ashley Dupree up front, as well as Stanley. So yeah, overall, on one hand, proud of the effort of the players, the commitment that they put in, but obviously disappointed to lose in this manner, and not give ourselves a chance to have gone to the penalty shootout. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, coach. Let's take the first question from Karabo.
Thank you very much, Fatu. Coach, obviously a very disappointing defeat right there in the end. But then, how proud are you with your players? Because I think over the last couple of matches, the character that these guys has is something to really marvel upon. So how proud are you in terms of their effort as well as character? And what is it that you do for you? Do you instill this kind of character on the training ground? How do you have this kind of character within these players? Thank you.
Yeah, I think as a club, we have our identity, and we work hard at getting the players to play with character, to play with personality. We want to be a team that's aggressive with the ball and aggressive without the ball. We want to have an identity that we're a difficult team to play against, a team that's hard to beat. But at the same time, we also want to develop our playing ability, creating and scoring more, goals than we did perhaps in the past. So yeah, getting that balance right is never easy, but definitely very proud of the players this evening. They really put in a huge effort. Fantastic. When you lose a game like this, you can still walk away proud of what the players have done, what they've done for the club, the effort that they've put in. And yeah, we fell a little bit short. If you had gone to penalties, it's a 50-50, anything could have happened. And yeah, one must not, forget people like Dino van Rooyen and Ashley Dupree. They've got only around about 25 to 30 sort of professional appearances. We played two 19-year-olds in the midfield, Ali Msengi and Jaden Adams. So it's all a development process. Sometimes you've got to throw the players in the deep end, and they've got to swim. And I think we will reap the rewards, in the short, medium, and long term. But yeah, all in all, at the same time, one doesn't always want to be coming at press conferences and saying how well you applied yourself and how well the commitment was really good and not get victory. So, we've got to just keep on believing in our processes, and, we've got to now focus on the league. We've got to get, league wins under the belt. But if we continue in this manner with the commitment we showed this evening and add in certain situations, then I've no doubt that we will turn out to have a successful season, and the targets we set ourselves out beginning of the season we will reach.
Okay, I'll take the last two questions for the coach, starting with front runner.
Thank you, Fatu. Coach, your substitutions came in and did the job. Mendieta and Nange, what are your instructions to them when they came in? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, obviously Junior Mendieta has been out for quite a while with some injury concerns. So, we're hoping to get him fully fit and ready to participate in 90-minute matches from our next league game. So it was good for him to get game time. And Nange also, obviously a seasoned, good professional. I knew that we had to try and sort of have some reserve if we needed it in the late stages of the game and perhaps going into extra time. So I just encouraged Junior. He's a creative player in the final third. You could see with the goal that he created, played it through the legs, got around, and then, Nange was in the box to score. Nange is, is a player that if he gets in and around the box, he's got fair share of goals in him. So I just encourage them to, defend, keep the structure. But when we have the ball, they're the two players with the fresh legs. I sort of wanted them to just give us some attacking input. Fortunately it did work out. But again, we're out of the cup, unfortunately.
Okay, Robin Duke, that's the last question for Coach Barker.
Coach, I just wanted to check here. Yeah, I just wanted to check here, Coach. You got the days off now because you will next play on the 12th against Arrows. What are you gonna do in the in this space? I mean, in these days, because as I mentioned earlier to you, the other day before this game, that you haven't won now 6 games since the club won against TM at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, no, look, obviously, I think, playing 120 minutes, the amount of games that we've played in a short space of time, fortunately, we've got 1 or 2 days just to regenerate, recuperate, recover. The field was heavy this evening, 120 minutes, a lot of players put in a big effort. So that's the first priority, just to get the freshness back, both in the body physically as well as the mind. And then we've got a good solid time period to prepare for Arrows. You all know Arrows obviously having a great season. They've only lost 1 game, I believe, and on a good run. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. But we do have now time to work on certain areas that I believe if we can just improve, the victories will be coming.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. We're going to end it here. Thank you. Cheers, brother. Resume the recording. All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. If we can just start maybe with an overview of the 120 minutes.
Yeah, man, we made a mess of a game that we knew it's always going to be on the edge, because we are playing against a team that is very good on counter-attack. Initially, I think we did not counter-press enough in the early stages, maybe the first 20 minutes of the game. And Dupree forever gave us problems behind the defense. But immediately after, we conceded a goal and we pushed the central midfielders to try and put a little bit more pressure on Robin Johannes, Sinkala, because they were the ones who were finding the space behind the defense, even Robertson. I think we did very well in that regard. And a confrontation of Lebu and Mark van Heerden did a very good job there, because if Mark had more time, he's got a very good diagonal ball anywhere in the field. But Lebu always took a very good angle to kill the area where he wants to swing the ball to us. And it frustrated Mark a lot, because he was forced to play a lot of balls inside, and he's always looking for possibilities to get the ball so that he can play the ball behind the defense. And I think that aspect helped us a little bit. But I must say it was a very tough game. We always know when we play Stellenbosch, we are playing against a team that is very astute defensively. And in their counter-attack, they are very potent. And honestly speaking, it was a game that one would never expect there could be 5 goals. It's always a 1-goal match or 2-goal match. It's never a game that has got too many goals. But yeah, that was good probably for the viewers. But one thing I appreciate the most is the fighting spirit of the team, because we are going to find situations like this even in the Champions League. We still have to fight very hard, and coaches also come with good options and strategies in terms of substitutions, which at times can backfire, but we knew what we were trying to do, because we knew we needed people that can play between the lines, and Kemit came in and helped us in that space. Kapinga also came in and helped us in that space. Then we pushed to Tapelo very late in the game so that Lebu can join in the midfield and add a little bit of a number in and around the zone 14 or the D-line. Then we managed to snatch the game during those moments, because it was always going to be dangerous when you are always in the opposition half and you've got the whole half on the other side open against Kellem, against a Dupree, And I think the moment they did not have to pray, it went out a little bit better, because those young boys, even Adams, was a very, very big problem behind our midfield. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. First question, Mazola.
Thanks. Coach, congratulations. If I can just squeeze in two questions there. One on your striker, Peter, who scored, obviously, the winning goal. There was a lot of hullabaloo about his price tag from his previous club when he joined Mamelodi Sundowns, and obviously a lot of eyes on him. Just how do you rate him? Obviously, do you think, arguably the best on-form striker at the moment? And the question around of the goalkeepers, was it maybe Kennedy was unavailable, Ricardo got the agreement to rotate goalkeepers for the Nedbank Cup? Thank you.
Okay, starting with Peter. I think he's one of the most professional players that I've ever worked with before. You can never falter anything when it comes to his level of professionalism, and the way he tries to adapt to the tactics and whatever the coaches are asking from him, and also the physical exertion that he puts into the match, the commitment that he gives you. It's an epitome of what you would want to have. Maybe have more than 5 Peter Shalulelas in your team, which I think in our team we've got quite a lot of players like those who are relentlessly trying to do the best in the team. In terms of his scoring, more than anything else, I think I appreciate more the fact that he's not selfish as a person. There are many instances in the club where he has made other people to score. Just last week, in the previous match against Chippa, he had an assist towards Lebo on the far post, and he also assisted on the goal of Gaston. And he takes some of these chances. He's not a very refined striker. He still makes some elementary technical mistakes, but you can live with those mistakes because he gives you his heart. And for me, that is more than anything. When a player gives you everything that he can give you, you always have room for some of the mistakes that he will make in the process. So I think he is trying to repay maybe the confidence that the team has shown in him, the president, for having invested so much money in making sure that we get him. You expect a lot of players to be that selfless in making sure that it's not about them getting what they want, but they also give themselves to the team, and that is what Peter is doing. In terms of the goalkeepers, it's just unfortunate that Dennis had a very stiff hamstrings based on the match that we played against Chippa, because the field was very heavy, it was raining and very soft. But to be honest with you, it was also important for us to have Goz playing, because Goz is a very important player for the national team, and for him not to get a chance to play is always not going to be good. And we always wanted to give him an opportunity, but unfortunately, at times he would be out because of this and that when we wanted to use him. But this time around, we gave him a chance, and I honestly believe he did well. And we know the quality that he presents as a goalkeeper. And it's important that all our goalkeepers get an opportunity so early in the season, so that when they are given an opportunity, when the going gets tough, they are able to help the team in that at that moment.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go to Robin Juk Madlala. Okay, Robin Juk, your connection is bad. Can you just text?
To check, yeah.
Okay. Robin Juk, please text me your question. Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, just text me your question. Let's move on to Clifford.
Thank you, Fatu. Good evening, Coach. Clifford here, Capricorn FM. Coach, my question is just on, the substitution, bringing on Kemi Erasmus and Lisarika Pinga, and they connected very well for that equalizer, for that goal to win the match. But unfortunately, Stellenbosch equalized, but also at the same time, Kapinga has been doing very well in terms of, moving forward and assisting, the winning goal. Even in the previous match, he also did that. I'm sure it's something that you're happy about. To remember at the beginning of the season, you talked about him doing more and trying to show more of resilience, to say that he wants to play, and now it seems like he's repaying that.
Yeah, the thinking of bringing Kapinga and Kemit was exactly for those reasons, because Stellenbosch was sitting in, and we knew it's going to happen at a certain point in the game, that they will be closing, and they defended probably with 2 lines, which was very wide at times, with 6 players across or 5 players across, and still in front of those, you have another 4 or 5 that you have to deal with. And you needed nippy players that can play in between the lines and players that can play under pressure of space, opponent and time. And Mshishi had done very well in that regard. And you just felt maybe let's change and bring in players like Kapinga and Kemit, not because Mshishi offers less quality in that space, but just to bring in fresh legs to help the team, because they were sitting with this block from the beginning of the match, and it requires a lot of movement and dynamism from more especially our creative players to find openings and pockets of spaces in between the lines. And Mshishi had worked extremely hard to give us that. Then at a certain point, it was important for us to refresh the team, and that's when we thought of Kemit and Kapinga. In fact, we were even considering Domingo to come in, because we wanted players that can play in those small pockets without always looking to come out and play in front of this big block, but to have people that have the tenacity to be able to find openings even when there are no openings. And that's what they did exactly. Kapinga has been working very hard in training. His attitude as a player is very good. He's very interested, and he loves the game, which is the most interesting thing. I always say Themba Zwane is successful in football because he loves football. Kapinga, you can see, is a township boy that wants to play. At Sundowns, initially, he made a lot of mistakes, technically losing possession, and we had to fight with him and get him right to understand that in a big team, losing possession is a very big crime, because every team that we play against is looking for the space in the opposition, in our half, because we are always in and around the center circle or the center line. So if you lose possession, you always present moments of us having to face a counter-attack. So it becomes your responsibility as well to know that when we lose possession, can we counter-press immediately and make sure that we don't give space and time for the opponents to be able to find those openings behind the defense. And he has improved tremendously in that space, but his defensive play still needs a little bit more attention. But the good thing is he's trying very hard. He has never been that player before. He was playing with a lot of freedom at Black Leopards. Defensively, he would cheat a little bit, waiting for those good moments to take you in attack. But unfortunately, in a big team like Sundowns, everybody has to put a shoulder to make sure that the team wins.
Thank you, Coach. Robin Juk says he's covered. His question was about Kapinga. So we'll take the last question. Front runner, Spiwe.
Thank you, Fatih. Coach Manoba, congratulations on going to the next round. My question is on Sundowns conceding so late in the game after scoring. You'd think you'd shut the back door immediately after scoring. What would you attribute that to, conceding so late in the game? Thank you.
Yeah, man. It's just unfortunate, but it's something that we have to look at very closely, because it has not happened a lot. We've not considered a lot of goals this season in general, but against Swallows, we considered very late. And today, again, we are conceding in that last minute of the game, which calls for our experience for the Champions League, because you can't immediately after scoring a goal in those dying moments of the game and just let it loose. But I've not done any video analysis of that goal. I still have to look at exactly what happened and be able to come out with something, because against Swallows, it was unfortunately a free kick, which was an outcome of a foul that we considered, which was a very unnecessary foul. And we considered a goal from there. On this one, I'm not sure what happened in the wide channel, because when the ball came into the box, I saw that someone was not picked up. But at this stage, I don't have clear video footage, and whatever I'll be saying will be very subjective. I prefer to talk when I've seen exactly what has happened and make a submission that I know is exactly what has happened, because I would not say it's because the team is not fit, because we would not have fought back and made sure that we get a winning goal. But those lapses of concentration must always make you as a coach to worry as to what exactly is happening. But we will be looking into it very closely.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. We'll end it there. Thank you, and all the best to the next round.
Sure, thanks. Thanks.